Hey guys, a little bit of a discussion time, some thoughts. Are scales boring? Now, I was reading on a website that was teaching how to use scales actually. I forgot what the website is, but they said scales are boring, but you have to do them. Now, the author, the person that was writing it, the singing teacher. Now, here's a bit of a disconnect that I feel when I hear a statement like that. All right. So something's boring, but you have to do it. Now, I get that. I do get that because there are disciplines where you might do something and it might be seen as boring, but you know you have to do it. Like, for example, I know a capoeira master. He's like I used to do dance shows, and we used to have capoeira guys. It's like a Brazilian martial art / dance. And he used to say, "Oh, I want to work out." Like, so he would get bigger, like more fit, even though he was completely ripped and built, but he wanted to get bigger, like a thicker sort of look. He would say, "Oh, I can't go to the gym though. I find it boring." He's like, "Oh, but I should go to the gym and work out more." And I kind of felt like, well, a lot of people do go to the gym and it's actually their passion. They really love working out. They find it really fun. I was one of those people. I still work out now, but not that much. But for about 5 years, it was my strong passion. And I have an old photo in one of my old videos somewhere where I show my body back then. And, I was pretty built back then. I wasn't incredible, but I was pretty well built. And that was my absolute passion. It was like when I was just starting music. So music wasn't my full passion just yet, but I was kind of starting out. I wasn't learning music so much. And working out was really fun. I would work out for about 45 minutes, about 4 times a week in the gym, and like just doing weights. And I loved it. And then this guy who was doing capoeira was telling me that he didn't like it. Like, he found it boring. Hold on, I'm just going to switch hands. So I found that really interesting. And then I thought I'd relate it back to what I currently do, which is teach singing, and thinking about what this person said about doing scales being boring but a necessity. Now, what I've done is I've created a song-based method where you can learn the skills that you need to learn to sing without actually ever having to do scales. So let me give a different analogy. It's kind of like gymnasts. Yeah, you see gymnasts, right, in the Olympics, male gymnasts, they're completely jacked. They're fully built. But if you look at their coaching programs, I got a book by a gymnast coach, and he said that they don't actually use weights. They might use a weighted vest sometimes. It's like a vest that you wear to make your body heavier. But they don't actually use weights, but they still do muscle training, and their muscles are huge. So what's going on? They're training their bodies. They're doing resistance training, which is like a weight on your body, except they're not using dumbbells, barbells, and machines like you do in the gym. They're using bodyweight exercises like dips and rows and chin-ups, and they're doing variations of those exercises like handstand push-ups, etc., squats, or one-legged squats. And they do variations of the exercises in a progression where they get gradually harder and harder, and they build their muscles to a crazy amount. Like, maybe they don't get like the bodybuilders that are winning the competitions at the top of the league, but they do get pretty incredible bodies. So it shows that they found a way to train their bodies that was different from the norm, the way that we see body training. We see body training like you go to the gym, you do weights, that's how you build your body. But if you look at people like the Bar Brothers and gymnasts, you'll notice that they actually build their bodies without using weights. They use resistance, the resistance of their bodies, and they modify the exercises so that they can build the muscle. So what I've done is this exact same thing, but I've done it with singing. So instead of having to use scales, which are boring, they might not be boring for everyone. I agree, some people might enjoy doing scales, but if you don't enjoy doing scales, you definitely don't have to do scales. You can do a different way, just like the Bar Brothers do their way, and the gymnastic coach and the gymnasts do their way. Instead of going to the gym and doing bodybuilding, I found a way to train your body and still get the results, but without the weights, so to speak, without the scales, so to speak, just with songs. How do you do it? You use Amazing Slowdowner to slow down songs and chop them into pieces. Now, you don't even need Amazing Slowdowner. If you got a teacher like me, I can break things down for you. But of course, I recommend you use Amazing Slowdowner so you become a better self-learner. So you can have more high-quality practice sessions where you're training. You know, I don't just want to teach you and just sit with you and coach you all the time, which is, I do love coaching you, but eventually I want you to be able to coach yourself. That's the goal. You know, I want to coach you to be your own coach, if that makes sense. I want to teach you so you can get to the point where you can teach yourself and recognize how to teach others. To me, that's what the best kind of teacher is. The kind of teacher that teaches you and then you can go off and do shit by yourself, you know what I mean? So, but of course, you know, you're not going to learn everything in one lesson. You will need to spend a fair bit of time with the mentor until you can yourself become the mentor, become your own mentor. But so the song-based approach, what you do, instead of using scales going, that's what I used to do, right? I started like that because I didn't know any other way. I just read some books, I got some CDs, got some practice stuff like 10, 12 years ago. I thought this is how you learn to sing. And then I realized that I wasn't actually learning how to sing like my favorite singers. I was learning more about notes, I was learning about increasing your range, but I wasn't learning how to sing smoothly and kill it like I do now. I wasn't learning how to sing, now I got a story to tell, this one about this girl, she be making me feel, oh, oh, oh. I wasn't learning how to control my voice, do vibrato, do runs, do falsetto, do blend, do high notes, do low notes, pronounce properly. I wasn't learning all of that just from doing scales. It wasn't enough, you know. And I got that inkling after spending a couple months with it. I spent 6 months, maybe a year doing scales, and I was like, it's not really working. And so I started learning guitar, and then I got my song-based ideas from learning guitar. I thought, oh, I'm just learning songs when I'm learning guitar. I'm not really learning exercise. There was exercises in the book, but a lot of it was learning songs. And my singing book didn't really teach that. It didn't teach songs till later, and it was trying to make you learn to read music, so I kind of closed that book. I looked at everything in the book. I didn't just close it. I looked at everything it was trying to do, and I sort of made a decision whether to commit myself to practicing like that or not. And I decided not to practice like that because I noticed there was a significant time commitment. So I sort of left it. And then I did guitar, and then I figured out that guitar training was different. They were teaching you strong songs kind of immediately, teaching you chords, teaching you riffs, teaching you all that kind of stuff, melodies. And I was like, And then gradually over the years, I figured out how to apply that same way of learning guitar to learning to sing. And I looked for programs to slow music down so I could learn riffs and stuff on guitar. And then I realized, hey, I can learn the runs that singers do, and actually the melodies that singers are doing that I'm not learning from the singing book, using a program that could slow down music maybe. And then I found ASD, and I slowed down music to a really high quality. And then I slowed down like Craig David's voice, for example, and noticed that all these little details, all these slides, all these ways that he's pronouncing the words, the exact melody he's doing, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I noticed, hey, I can listen to this and pick it up instead of, I did get the sheet music for Craig David's books, but I didn't end up using it because, I did use it a little bit, but I ended up going to mostly learning by ear, because I'm like, oh, I don't need to learn how to read all these notes. I did learn how to read them, but I don't need to learn how to read and sing just by reading. I can actually learn just by listening if I use a program that slows things down enough and I can hear it. And that's what ended up happening. So I got a lot of videos about this kind of topic, about the journey that I found. You can go in my playlist, look at my playlist. There's a playlist called Motivation and Facts, as in frequently asked questions, FAQs, talk or something like that, talks. I got a playlist and it's got like about 100 and something videos, and just scroll through those videos and you can see a lot more about this topic. I've talked about this topic in detail in other videos. But yeah, so you don't actually need to use scales to train your voice, just like the gymnasts don't need to use weights to build their bodies. So just like vegans, like myself, I'm also vegan, vegans don't need to use meat to build muscles for protein. You can use beans, you can use fruits and vegetables and grains that all have protein in them, nuts. You don't actually need to eat meat to build muscles. Now, I don't have massive muscles, right? But my body's okay, and there's plenty of vegan bodybuilders, you can look it up, that build their bodies without ever eating meat. So, same with scales. So what I'm trying to do is I'm using analogies for you guys to kind of open your mind that you don't need to be doing stuff the way that we've been told. Just because there's people that do stuff a certain way, it doesn't mean it's the only way to do something. There's actually other ways to do things. You don't need to even combine systems. For example, I don't need to combine scale system with a song-based system. There's no need to, because the song-based, I created the song-based system detailed enough to hit all the things that a song is doing. So my voice is fully developed without ever needing to go and create and use a different system. The same with vegan bodybuilders. They don't need to eat meat sometimes. I don't eat meat sometimes to get my protein. I get my protein or my nutrition needs by eating completely vegan. But you need to have a system that does it. You need to take a B12 supplement. You need to make sure you're eating a variety of plant-based foods, not just eating one food, not just eating bananas all day and expecting that you're going to get what you need. You know, you need to eat a variety of foods. Fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, beans, you know. You need to eat a variety to get your needs. You need a system, right? Just like meat eating bodybuilders have a system. They eat meat, they eat eggs, blah, 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 to meet their needs. They have supplements like whey protein powders, etc. Vegan bodybuilders do the same thing. Same way that gymnasts, they have a system. They don't just do push-ups and get the body that they get. They have an elaborate system, and I recommend you get a book from I forgot the name of the book, damn it. It's a great book. It's like 300 pages or something. I can't remember the name, I'm sorry. But look up gymnastic coaching for men or something like that, and you'll probably find a book where they teach you how gymnasts train. And look up Bar Brothers or people that train without weights. So these people don't mix. They don't need to mix systems. They just create their one system that works really well, but it's got to be a detailed, complex system, just like my song-based system. My song-based system is very complex. It's very detailed. When you come to lessons, you realize that. You realize that I got a lot of methods that I use, tricks that I pull out the bag to teach you at whatever stage you're at, whether you're beginner or whether you're advanced, whether you're better than me. If you're better than me, I teach you how to do runs that are at a crazy level. Even if you can already do crazy runs, I teach you how to get better than you are. That's my job as a coach, as a teacher. Just like all the gymnastic coaches, they have students that are more talented than them. And they're sometimes at a better level than them. Sometimes the coach is out of shape, can't even do it. But they know how to teach the student. They know how to get the student better than they are. And that's the goal of a teacher. Okay, guys. So definitely, if you're bored with scales, you don't need to keep doing them. That's for sure. There's different ways to train. Okay? And there's areas that scales don't hit too, that you can only train with different methods using songs. So I highly recommend you check out my course, which actually has a lot of the methods that I use. But the most highly recommend, I'm not going to lie to you and act like a course will solve all your problems. A course will help some people that can figure out, that have enough skills to be able to use the course. Some people don't have enough skills to use the course because they can't sing in key, or they're missing certain skills and the course is just not enough. They might need 10, 20 lessons to get them enough ability to keep going with the course, or they just might need lessons entirely and the course is not enough. There's only one way to know. You can try the course, you can buy the course. For some people it will definitely be enough and they'll be able to learn runs, learn vibrato, learn key, everything from the course. But some people will need more than that. Some people will need lessons. I recommend you try a mix of both. If you don't want the course, don't even bother, just come straight to lessons. And some people will do great with the course. So it's up to you. It depends how much money you have, you know, like courses are expensive, even though my courses are literally the cheapest courses online that I've found. I've intentionally made them cheap because I realize courses are really expensive. So I wanted to make them affordable for you guys and still feel like I'm getting paid for the effort that it took to create them. So my courses have about 4 hours of material on the singing course and about 4 hours of material on the guitar course. The guitar course is actually better than getting lessons because it teaches you the skills on the right hand in a really effective way. Whereas singing is a bit different because singing, you might not know if you're singing right or wrong. Whereas guitar, it's easier to tell if you're doing it right or wrong, kind of. You know what I mean? All right, guys. I'm Rashid Hayek, rnbsinginglessons.com. You don't need to just do scales if you're bored of it. Trust me. There's another way to learn. All right. Bye.